sex trafficking is the issue du jour now, as it really should be. I mean, you're hearing about it more and more and more. But I want to talk a little bit more about the supply and demand side of this. Because of the content that is out on the internet that we just described, what we're finding is that porn users are demanding new and more violent and more depraved types of content, right? So there's a demand for that. I was just down at the southern border last week, and we were talking about the trafficking issue, and I've been at the White House talking about this issue. And sex trafficking is one of the big issues that we're dealing with at the border, dealing with the issues of smugglers bringing across women and children for sale, for sex, and drugs and arms, primarily. All right, and they're the same kinds of cartels and criminals that are selling all of this and bringing it across the border. But I've asked the question at the White House, and even Ivanka Trump, I said, why do you think they're coming here? Why are the smugglers bringing trafficked girls and victims here? There's a demand, right? There's a demand. Why is there a demand, do you think? Men are getting hooked on the kind of pornography that I've been sharing with you, whether it be child pornography or the obscene kind of content, and often will want to act out those desires and those fantasies on a real person. And hence, there's a demand, all right? So that's how the supply and demand works. So more and more women and children are being trafficked and prostituted. So this is not just happening across the border, it's happening all over our country. In just about every community, this is going on, right here in Denver. And so like I said before, U.S. is #1 in obscene pornography, #2 in hosting child pornography sites. So one of our big pushes is to try to get all these laws aggressively enforced. Just a little bit of background: trafficking is the fastest growing organized crime in the United States. And the internet is the primary vehicle for women and children being sold and advertised and used. All right, so hence our involvement. Now I'm gonna hop over to predators online. I promise we're gonna get to solutions here real quick. So I'm gonna just download all this real quick. So predators are online. We didn't used to talk about sex trafficking until, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. We mostly talked about sexual predators online. But a sex trafficker is a sexual predator, and they use the same methods as a child predator or a pedophile. All right? Just a couple of things. This is where the internet really shifted everything with respect to sexual predation and now trafficking. And that is, predators have easy access to who? Online. Kids, right? Remember that first scenario. They have easy access to kids, right? And kids are out there using the internet and being trusting and innocent, and they're interacting with these people. Because do you think a predator comes up and says, hi, I'm 45 years old and I'm a convicted sex offender and I want to have sex with you? No. They do what we call grooming. They will groom a child, become their friend, find whatever interests them, and get into their world and become a trusted voice in that child's life. That's the way that works. That's just kind of shorthand for grooming. All right? Another thing, they have easy access to what kind of content? Child pornography. Before the internet, you could hardly find child pornography. And sexual predators didn't get together and have, community meetings and called the pedophile club. But they're doing that all the time on the internet, all over the world. And so what happens when they get together? They share information about how to avoid law enforcement detection. They share information about how to abuse children. They actually abuse children online in real time with other predators watching, live stream. Okay? This is what is going on. So I love the internet. The internet is terrific, but it is neutral. It is remember back to the beginning, this is a spiritual battle. Can you see the enemy at work here? Okay. Well, I got a piece of hair in my mouth. Another thing that is happening is these predators, and I'm going to put everybody in this category, whether it's a trafficker or a pedophile, they get together and they validate with one another that what they are doing is okay. It is acceptable. So they virtually validate one another. There have been sexual predators, and some that I've talked to that are in jail now, that have told me, I don't think I would have ever acted out if I had not gotten involved in discussion groups with other predators and felt that actually that it was okay, the sexual appetite I had for children and what I wanted to do. So this is the perfect storm for predators online. So parents, grandparents, remember one thing, because I don't know what new technology is going to come down the road in 10 years. But it's going to be really cool for all the good, beneficial reasons that it was invented. But always remember that it can be misused and exploited by the bad guys, right? So, important point, and I'm going to have you all say it out loud. Where predators prey where children play. Okay? Your turn. Predators prey where children play. So just remember that. When apps got developed, where do you think the predators are going? They're going to the apps. They're going to TikTok, Instagram, you name it, right? Social media, the same thing. When it was MySpace and Facebook, that's where they started to go. So that's always going to be the case because they want access to more and more kids. And as they have access to more and more kids, many of these predator clubs, if you will, actually, as to be a member of a club and to get all the child pornography in these that the other members have, they have to produce new child porn, which means they've got to abuse more children, upload those videos, upload those pictures, and put it out there. So that is the scenario.